All right, we are now live again. Oh my gosh, is it deja vu, guys? Is it deja vu? I felt like I was just live. I could have been just live. I think I was just live. But welcome in, guys. Welcome in. I'm gonna let everybody kind of trickle in here real quick, and let me just make sure I got stuff muted this time because that was definitely a new mistake last video. And while we're doing that, Tracy, what's going on? Welcome in, Tanya. What's going on, Steve? What's going on? Chris, Liquidation, Ohio, guys, really cool guy. I consider him a true friend. Got his phone number now. I feel kind of blessed. And so go check him out. We have Thrifty Santa, gals in the house. Welcome in. Hip Flippin' Mama, the mama of the reselling community, guys. It's Hip Flippin' Mama. Connie, what's going on? Oh, man, you guys are amazing. What loyal, amazing people you guys are. We just had a live show and we're getting people in this one too 2 hours later, guys. So it's amazing. I have a really cool duo. Okay, now this is a first on the Wade's Ventures YouTube channel. We have not had this yet, where we've had a podcast basically live on my show where you can not only see their podcast, but you can see them talk. It's amazing. And we're going to go over that right now. Just waiting for a few more people to come in. And I like your hat. Thank you, man. Thank you. I got to wear different hats. I think I got another one over here. Mr. Pac-Man gave me this one. You guys all know this one. That's what happens when you're bald. You have to wear hats, unless you're good looking like these guys that you're about ready to see. All right. Twice in one day. Yes, yes, yes. All right. So without further ado, guys, let me just clarify. Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, we invite really cool resellers, people that do this part-time and full-time on eBay, on Amazon, on our channel, so you guys can discover them. I mean, that's the point, is to get really cool people in front of you guys so you can go subscribe to their channel. You can follow them. You can be lurkers like I am. And what's going on, Redneck? How are you, my man? And welcome in, buddy. I don't know. We didn't spend much time together in Vegas. We need to spend more time. But anyways, so without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to this podcast right here, guys. Right here. So I got it. Yes, I got a shirt, and it's amazing. Go ahead, guys.
That's how awesome Wade is. Yeah. So, hey, Wade, first of all, Mike and I just want to say thanks so much for having us on. You know, it's kind of interesting. You know, we're a podcast, right? But we're also resellers. So, Mike, you want to talk about that a little bit? Introduce yourself first, and I'll go.
Yeah, sure. So, right. So we got started actually just a few months ago, and I've known Orlando for years, and he's been reselling for a long time.
Orlando?
Yeah, Orlando.
Okay. We always do this back and forth. We're always correcting each other. So, anyways, go ahead.
So I've known Orlando for years, and you know, he's been telling me about reselling and how awesome it is and how much money he's made doing it. And you know, I didn't give it much thought, and then finally I was like, you know what, let's try it. And I kind of had some background in tech stuff. And so I was like, you know what, if we're going to do this, if I'm going to learn how to resell, let's document it. Let's have you teach me how to resell and then record it. And so we can share this with people who maybe are just starting and veterans alike. So it's been awesome.
And it's not that I'm an expert or anything. It's just I've been doing this for a while. And Mike is, you know, he's on fire. I mean, he knows. Like, he'll walk into a store and he'll look at stuff that I'll never look at. And so if you listen to our podcast, you'll hear stories about, we'll be at a garage sale and I'm looking at all the stuff, picking it up. And here's Mike in the corner, like in the back of the garage, like finding some random things. And he walks out with profits. And so, you know, he may be new, but he definitely knows what he's talking about. And so we've been doing this, you know, about full time now. I've been doing this full time as a reseller, but as a duo, we've been doing this for a little over a month. We just got on Instagram back on June 16, and our podcast, we're on episode 8, just released our last podcast today. And our hope is to help new sellers. And we also want to, you know, bring value to veteran sellers, and we want to learn. I mean, there's so much to learn. And so it's been pretty awesome. And so it's been great. The other thing I wanted to add, it's kind of interesting. We go back from, we both were teachers.
Yeah. Yep.
And you're currently teaching, right?
I teach full time. So the summer was really nice for me to really get, like, to start the process. You know, I had some time off. Wade, I think you've got a young child, right, at home, a little.
Yes, we have 2 now.
Nice.
Yeah, they're growing, man.
Oh, dude. Yeah, one knows how to open the door as of today. So Yeah, it's we gotta go.
Is that a good thing?
Well, if I didn't have 3 dogs, it'd be but yeah, these dogs, one's laying right next to me. He would definitely run out if that door was open. So we gotta go get that fixed. But here's the thing. First of all, somebody said you guys have an amazing background. I would echo that.
Thank you.
Jesus. And we forgot to introduce the middle.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
So Freddie, I actually liberated him from a Toys R Us. Quick story, it was like the last day that Toys R Us was open in LA, specifically in the Anaheim store. And I walk in and I don't think I'm going to find anything. And actually it's on our YouTube channel. It's like the only live action video we have right now. We're going to put you posting more. And I walk in and he's literally in a cage with a $1,000 price tag. So it's kind of like a bail amount, right? You want to free Freddy? This is what you got to pay. So I text Mike. I'm like, dude, you'll never guess what I found. Because I've been trying to hustle this guy multiple Toys R Us. So I went in there. I'll show this really fast. I go in there and I say, hey, would you be willing to work with me on this? And they look at me and they're like, no. I'm like, why? Well, we really love him. And once people get sentimental, you're done. Like, that's it. And then I said, how about your manager? Oh, we're all big Funko fans. I'm like, oh, this is not going to go well. And then he said, well, you better hurry because there's somebody else that's coming to get it. So I'm like, should I do some research? I text Mike, hey, Mike, what do you think? Should I pick this up? And sure enough, I'm like, let's do it. Let's buy it. And the moment I bought it, I'm going out to my car. I literally had all these shipping supplies because I was going to Toys R Us like for 3 days straight and shipping out to FBA. And the moment I come in, they said, Orlando, the guy just called and said he wanted us to buy it right now. Like he wanted us to put it on hold. He's going to buy it right now. So from the moment I paid, within 5 seconds, I would have lost Freddie. But luckily, Freddie's here with us. Side Hustle Pros, if you watch this, he's available for you too. So, but this is the first time he's seen daylight since then. He's been hiding away for a while. So, okay.
So, first off, you guys like the modern day Robin Hoods, right? you guys are freeing the Funkos, and I keep that thing. That thing is going to be worth some big bucks because it came from Toys R Us, more importantly. But also, people love that. I bet fourth quarter, something like that, would go for a pretty penny. But then again, he does look pretty good sitting right there during your podcast.
It's going to be a tough one. I don't know. So we'll have to wait and see.
Get that sentimental attachment to some of the items you get. Yeah.
Yeah. And his name is already you don't have to name him. He's already has a name. So it's incredible. What's going on, Hugo? Welcome in. Okay. So I want to touch base on this. Like, full-time teacher, which I commend you for that because I love our we love our teachers, right, guys? In chat, let me know if you love our teachers. But summertime is a fantastic. If there's any time throughout the year to do this and get your feet wet, it's during the summertime. Like, tell me a little bit about so far reselling. Like, are you enjoying it or what? Like, you guys look like you're having one good time up there. Seriously.
Yeah, no, it's been awesome for me. Like I mentioned with you having a young child, a couple of young kids, I've got an 8-month-old at home. And so this summer it was just me and him, and we'd go to thrift stores. We'd go to garage sales, and, it's amazing to think that I can be out working, making money, enjoying myself while I'm doing it, and spend time with my kids, so it's been incredible. I've been having a blast. I kind of look at it like, every time I go out, I'm on a treasure hunt, like it's an adventure. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but overall I've had more success and I've had failures. So it's been exhilarating. It's been fun.
There's no summer slowdown for Mike here.
No, yeah, I keep being told, like, just wait, you'll make more sales after summer's over. And I've been like, I've been making sales. I think I'm doing okay, so I'm excited to see what the Q4 has to offer.
Yes. So we have Mo in chat. Right down there, the reseller niche, their podcast too. You guys need to get together and do something like a collaboration.
Okay. Yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah, he even has this little, as his tag, little mic for podcasts. Like, you guys should get together and do something. Nice. I did something with him too. I know he would. Like, he loves working with other people. But awesome. So tell me, like, okay, so let's take 2 steps back. Then we're gonna do the whole video, and then I've got a lot of questions for you. He just said definitely reach out, guys. Like, you two would do fantastic. So tell me, like, first of all, I want to know what we'll start with one of you guys. Tell me a little bit about your family life. Like, I want to know, what does your family think of you guys reselling? Like, give me like the background of you. Did you go to college? Like, give us like a minute long, like, about you, if you could.
Okay, so this is going to be interesting. So I actually was an administrator at Mike's school. So I actually observed Mike. I was a supervisor. Like, I did his teacher write-ups. That's how weird. This is how weird this is, right?
All good write-ups, never a bad one. Yeah.
Incredible teacher. So I have a master's in history. I was a teacher for 10 years. Then what you call the dark side, I kind of jumped over into admin the last 5. And it's interesting. While I was an administrator, I began this eBay Amazon hustle on the side. And every night I would put in 3 or 4 hours. And I just kept doing it because I kept thinking, I want to keep doing this and see how far I can take this. And this last year, it got to a place where I could actually step away from being an administrator and go full time, and I'd be okay. Now, you ask about what my family thinks. So my boys are funny. My middle kid, who's he's about to be a teenager, who everything's like, oh, Dad, you think you're so cool. Oh, Dad, you know what I mean? It's kind of that with him. He's like, so Dad, and this is school he goes to, by the way. So what are you doing now? And I'm like, well, I'm a full-time reseller. He goes, are we going to be able to pay bills? And I'm like, son, I just got you like a video game, a Nintendo Switch. Like, I'm taking care of you. Like, we're good. Don't worry about it. So it's been kind of interesting. I got to a place where it was kind of like I was working at the school because I enjoyed it. I was doing reselling because I enjoyed it. And then I decided to step down because I really wanted to focus on my boys, build the online business, and just see where this goes. So, and then Mike and I just started talking about this, and this is where we are now.
Isn't it like, I can't describe the feeling I had when I left my corporate job. Now, let's full disclosure, guys, fine print. Like I said on the show 2 hours ago, I'm a firm believer in like keeping your job and building your business on the side, just like they did. And so you can go full time financially. But like, I remember the day that I quit that corporate job in April of this year. And the feeling that I had, like, I felt like the weight had been lifted off me, and then I can now go and do what I want and enjoy. And like, I wake up and believe me, there's days that I don't do a lot of work, but I can spend time with family and friends and create relationships. And so I commend you for that, because I think that, not only were you in rewarding stuff as a teacher and then a little bit as an admin, right?
It was fun. I enjoyed it. It just was different. It just was different.
So what about our teacher over there? By the way, you said you had a little guy. Bald guy to bald guy. I still have a little hair left. We hope that they get the genes from the, I know it skips a generation, but tell me a little bit about you. Like, what does your family think of you starting this journey? What is your immediate, do you tell anybody that you're starting this, or give me a little skinny on what you're up to?
Yeah. It was interesting. I had talked to my wife about doing this, and trying to sell on eBay was something I tried like years ago, right out of high school. And I had no idea what I was doing. I bought a bunch of junk. It sat in my house. And then when I got married, it was funny. My wife went through these totes around the garage, and she's like, what is all this junk? And it's like, oh, it's stuff I'm going to sell on eBay. And so it all got thrown in the trash. So when I approached her and said like, hey, I think I want to sell some stuff on eBay, she kind of just rolled her eyes. And so I took $20 and I went to a garage sale. And I think I spent like $16 buying a few items, some books and some other things. And within a couple of weeks, almost everything I bought sold. And that $20, I now had, over $100 in my hands that I could go to another garage sale. So it's kind of just grown and it's built. So it started as, yeah, sure, why not take $20? It'd be like going to the movies. It'd be a fun little hobby for a day. And it's working, right? So my wife gave me like a little tiny tote in the garage. Like, okay, this can be your eBay corner, right? Like this one tote. And over the last couple of weeks, I have most of the garage now. Like it's because I've been, we've done so well. My wife initially was like a little bit, she's always supportive of everything I do, of course, but little hesitant of, okay, what are you going to do? But as she's seeing how much money is coming in, and that, I'm not just buying junk, but I'm buying things that are turning into money. she's on board. Like now she's opened up a Poshmark. So she's selling on Poshmark. It's great. I love it.
Yeah, if you go to our Insta story today, I was going thrifting for the haul today, and then lo and behold, here's Mike's wife at the Goodwill picking up some jeans.
Yeah, she was
like
on her lunch break.
It was crazy.
Yeah, she was on her lunch break at work and decided to jump at the Goodwill to pick up some jeans, and just totally random. But it's amazing to see her excited about it now. She's not just okay with it, but she's a part of this. So it's awesome.
So I can tell you two things. One, like there's no better feeling than like waking up, not only to your wife, right, but to somebody that like has a newfound like goal. And it's crazy. Like Ashley helps me editing these videos. If we need to pull inventory, ship, like I think it's really cool to do this as a family. And for you, like kind of teaching your boy like the value of $1. Like I didn't have that when I was growing up. I think it's really, really cool, guys. And I was just I was on my phone, guys, and I was on your guys' Instagram, and I gotta tell you, you guys got some great, like, look at this. Seriously, you guys are picking up some good stuff over there. So guys, what I'm gonna ask you this. It's pretty simple, but what's your guys' Instagram handle here?
It is Pure Hustle Podcast.
Yes, guys, dude, they're picking up some good stuff over here. Seriously, I am gonna start creeping on your guys' Instagram for sure, because you guys are picking up a lot of the cool stuff. Like, oh my gosh, like there's no joke over here, guys. They're working. They're putting in work. Holy
that's some Toys R Us hauls there.
Oh my gosh. Let's see if I can't get a couple. Look at this. Oh my.
Yeah, that was busy. That was a busy time. I took an epic road trip with my son all throughout the LA area. Hit up every Toys R Us that we could. It was great.
Ooh, there we go.
Those are garage sales, actually.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
You guys are crushing the Nike over here too. You guys know Resell Killers is also in San Diego area, right?
We do, yeah. They're up we see them all the time. I love their dumpster diving videos.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yes. God, they don't get better than that. They're such cool people. What's going on, Hugo? Yes, guys, go check out that video we did last night of Hugo, like, and his wife, his amazing wife. She's crazy. She's really cool. Stitch Witch, what's going on? All right, so I think I'm getting a picture of you guys and what now. First of all, your guys' sound quality, I got to point this out live with 50 people watching, is pretty amazing. Like, wouldn't you agree, guys?
Right
they sound better. I don't know if it's their voice or if it's the sound quality, but they sound better than I do. So I'm going to, guys, those of you who are just joining that's never joined me, I put their YouTube channel constantly in the chat. And so those of you guys that are here, subscribe to them. I'll shout you out. Thrifty Santa number 26. Hip Flippin' Mama 27.
Thank you.
Let's see who else. A lot of times people don't put it in there, but yeah, Mo 30. So we're missing some peeps.
Oh, you guys are awesome.
31. Connie 32. Guys, subscribe to them right now. Click that. Subscribe. Trust me, you're gonna want to. I've already been peeping on their YouTube. I love people that like have it together, and there's no better feeling than people that come on my show and then they just crush it and put all their journey and life into YouTube so we can kind of see what they're doing. Mm-hmm. And then also, what was it? Yesterday or the day before, you're like, hey, what shirt size are you?
It was Tuesday morning because I had the shirts and I thought, we need to get him a shirt. And he's in Oregon. We could do this priority. So I dropped off an eBay shipment. I'm like, I'm going to ship this out. And sure enough, you got back to me right away and it got there.
Dude, I checked the mail an hour ago and this thing was in there. And I can't lie. I checked the mail. I was like, uh-oh, it's a return, isn't it? And like, it was like Christmas getting this thing.
Nice.
It was incredible. We got, Cindy 38, Liz 33, my best bud in the world, Hugo 28, Rosie 39, Gal 40, Derek 38. Tanya was 28. Sorry. Man, you guys are I have the most amazing audience ever. Okay. So let's get into, we're going to change this up a little bit because people sometimes want to see kind of what you guys are picking up, and then we'll get back into the interview. So show us some of these items that you picked up today, because you do have quite a bit. I saw you guys at Goodwill. So I'm really curious to see what you guys got for the haul video.
All right. I'll start it off.
Sure.
Oh, okay. So I got a full crate.
Oh, so, we can do 3 or 4 crates if you want. We'll see.
Well, hey, so I want to let people know, like, we're real deal. Like, this is how I make my living. Mike he's crushing it. He's working all the time. So some of the items are kind of items that I think like, hey, if you're starting off, you should definitely pick these up. You know what I mean? Because sometimes I see people, they pick up like super like expensive items. It's like, hey, if you're just starting off, like that's hard. You know, dropping $30 on something, that's tough. Dropping $5, that's a little easier, you know? So you got to find your level. So just a few things. So you always, you know, like I picked this up because I thought it was cool. I think it's relatable. So, you know, you always got to look at uniforms. I don't know if you can see that over there. You can't tell what that is? You see it? Let me bring it closer to the camera.
I can't. Oh, is that a USPS?
Yes. So it's a uniform. So it's a USPS uniform. So
we're gonna start a new game show, guys. That actually gave me an idea. Oh my gosh, seriously. Let me know in chat if you guys want to start a new game show. Guess what this is.
Guess what this? That's awesome. I'd play that. Yeah.
So the thing with that, you know, if you look at comps, you're going for like 30 or so, but you know, I'm thinking it's an older vintage one. Picked it up for about $3, and you could definitely get 30 to 40 on it. You know, and that's a beginner one. That's easy, you know.
And everybody watching, they know that I love picking up uniforms. Out of anybody, I love uniforms. I even sold. Man, so I sold, you're not going to get this, but I bought 2, it's on my Instagram, by the way. It's 2 Rent-A-Car shirts, you know, Rent-A-Car, the company. Yeah. And somebody bought those. And nobody would pick those things up. You know, nobody would pick those things up, but I knew they would, unless they're still, maybe they picked up because they're still in cars. Hopefully that's not the case. Yeah, I'm a big fan of employee stuff. That was a really good find on your part.
No, it was great. And then Harley, I think Harley, you know, we talked about before we got on the show, you know, they still sell and they're cool based on the design. So here's a Harley. This is the back of the shirt. Yeah, I don't know if you can see there, but it's from Fargo, North Dakota. You can see there. And you know, Polo, this was only $2, you know, and people really like collecting Harley items that are local, right? Or they travel through and I know the market's kind of saturated. This is how I started actually 5 years ago, was Harley and Hawaiian shirts. Like that was my jam. But I still sell Harley and Hawaiian shirts.
Didn't you just sell something like 15 minutes ago?
Yeah, I just sold. Okay, so before we got on Wade's Ventures, I ended up selling a Harley leather jacket for $300. So I'll pull this up. I'm not trying to brag. This is actually
lunch is on. You better get out there and get some lunch from this guy. 300. No, Harley.
Can you see that one? There we go. So and that jacket had been sitting, I want to say, for a year and a half. But you know, I knew it was worth something, and I picked it up. I think I paid $50, but I knew somebody would want it. So okay, I'll throw one more, and then Mike has a couple of things. So some people are not going to believe this, and I actually don't believe it, but it's happening again. So years ago, I used to sell shape-ups. Did you know shape-up shoes, like those like toning shoes, you know what I'm talking about? So I actually picked these up, right? And fresh with the tag for $8. I don't know if you can see that, $7.99.
Those are clean. Those are clean.
No, they're clean. They're like nubs on nubs. Like they're brand new pretty much. A little dirty, but you can just use a Clorox sanitizing wipe and it'll clean the soles really well. So, and I've been selling those for about 40 to 50. You know, and we talked about it in the last podcast. Actually, our most recent podcast, we talked about what's our bolo, and it's Skechers shape-ups. Now, you know, we don't share that with everybody. If you want to listen to the podcast, we talk about it. But, you know, the shape-ups market, for whatever reason, it's going.
It's back. Yeah.
It's back.
Who knows how long, but, you know, ride the wave while you can.
Like, I've sold 3 in the last month for 40 plus.
Here's the thing. It's like, it's funny. Like I do. There's a lot of people out there like Hustler Hacks, Hustle Bee. They all do basically, they go into these, they do retail arbitrage at Ross, Marshalls, and these different places. And you'd be surprised how many people starting out on that try to buy, like, they just look for Nike and they just look for Adidas and possibly Under Armour. And then they stop there. They don't look at any other shoes. But some of those shoes are really good sellers. You know, it's pretty good finds. Like I've got some Skechers here too. I think they're women's, but I sell a lot of them. They're not over on this rack. Anyways,
are they like the SSR, the resistance shoes?
I think so. I think I've got like racks everywhere.
Yeah, I see.
It's one of those things where you kind of got to like broaden it, you know, like I get that the 3 big brands are good, but sometimes you can make 30, 40, 50 bucks on these other ones pretty cheap. And those were clean.
Yeah, they were good. And the reason that it's nice, it's they're priced low because Goodwill doesn't think they're valuable anymore. Right? You gotta find the weak spots. And you know, I know later we're gonna talk about people that we listen to, but I remember early on I listened to Rick and Profit, and he had this one video. It was like he was in front of a windowsill. Really there wasn't much in the video, but the one thing he said is that every thrift store has its weak point, like stuck to me. So every time I told Mike this, so every time we go into a store, we might see some things that are priced high, but there's something somebody missed. Somebody did not catch it.
Oh yeah. And it's, you know, I for example, I went to Goodwill's. I did a lot of Goodwill runs about 2 weeks ago. And for some odd reason, Spooner shirts, they price really cheap. I don't get that.
Really?
30, 40, 50 bucks. And if you look at my eBay store, I sold 2 recently. But yeah, they for some reason around here, they don't charge us up. They don't put, I mean, I don't know. It's just really weird. And it was multiple different Goodwills too. So.
Huh. All right, Mike, what do you have?
Well, see, it's funny. I was going to bring in this set of books that I bought from a garage sale. I paid $1 for this unopened, sealed James Bond book set. My mistake was I listed it, and within 24 hours, it was sold. So
that's a terrible mistake.
Terrible mistake. But
don't make
it, but it was crazy because it was $1. I made $75 on it. And in one of our,
what was it again?
It was like a 007 James Bond 14 book set. It was really small. I was able to ship it media mail. So it was cheap to ship. And the funny thing was, a few episodes ago, you had talked about the importance of potentially turning on global shipping. And I had not done it yet. So I had turned global shipping on, and it was literally a few hours after I turned global shipping on, this item sold globally. So it was pretty exciting. But I did bring in a couple of things. This was a great find of mine. Yeah, so I got this vintage Apple Macintosh hat. I picked it up at a garage sale. Guess, let's play that game show. Guess how much I picked that up for?
Wait, don't ask me. Ask the chat. How much do you think you picked that? I have to throw a guess out there because I want to win. Let's see. But let me know, guys, in chat. What do you think that hat he picked up for? I'm gonna guess. I don't know, $1 turned into 75, so that was pretty impressive. So I'm assuming this one's probably right around. I would say $4. But I had to go really. Oh, just by the way you said that, I'm gonna re-guess. It was probably more than that. I'm gonna say $15. But wait, give it a second. Let people.
What do you have in the chat?
What are people in the chat saying? What's our range?
$1? Oh man, Mo $2.49. Cindy $1. Hip flipping mama $1. Hey, you can't do it twice. We got Big says 50 cents. Gal $2.99. Flip it says $1. We have Star said, "Hey Wade," so that wasn't a bid, but I'll take that. $500, Connie? That had to have been a mistake. Free? Oh, Tracy, you are one smart cookie. You said free. I don't think it's free, but that's pretty smart. 75 cents, 50 cents, 84 cents. All right, let us know.
All right, here's the number. It was 50 cents. 50 cents. Yeah.
Oh
so I looked up comp, and there was one identical to this sold, but it was like dingy, dirty, stained. This one is really clean. Like it's white. There's like no stains on it at all. And the comp on it was like $99 that this one sold for. And so, you know, I'm excited about that find. You know, 50 cents, you can't beat that. You know, so
I'm gonna give you a little secret that nobody has said on any reselling channel. The fact that he is super excited about it means that he can buy more expensive diapers because those things are not cheap.
Oh, yes, that's true.
There
yeah,
you go.
You got to get those diapers.
That's a secret.
And organic food. My wife likes the organic food for Judah, so it's on the pricier side, but you know he deserves it. So keep him well fed.
They got to eat healthy. He's probably gonna. Hopefully, he lives until he's 140.
That's right. That's what I'm hoping for. And then the other thing that I picked up. So I was at a local thrift store. It was like a veterans thrift store, and I'm into board games. Like I love board games. It's one of my hobbies and passions. So I'm always on the lookout when I go in. And most of the board games, like I don't know what your area is like, but every time you go into a thrift store, there's like 100 Twilight Saga board games or something, and it's just stuff that's worthless. But I saw this. It's a talking bingo game, and I think it's from the 80s or maybe early 90s. And I picked it up for, I think $1.50, it might have been $2, something around there. And the comps on these are going for anywhere from $50 to over $100, depending on if it's new. This one was new, but the try me button didn't work because the batteries had corroded. So it had a tear in the packaging. So I went ahead and opened it up and cleaned up the battery spot, put in batteries and tested it. So I think with comps on it, it's probably going to get like $60. So I love board games, and it's great when you can get one that wins.
Yeah, Reseller's Life said board games. Woohoo! Yes.
Yeah.
No, Mike runs. Don't you run a board game club at the school?
Yeah, I literally have a bookshelf, like a giant bookshelf in my classroom, and once a week students come in, and I've just got tons of crazy board games, a bunch of niche, random, nerdy board games. It's great.
So how awesome is it? I know as a teacher, you guys are amazing, but I don't want to put any assumptions out there because honestly, I don't know 100%. But you're not going to be a millionaire being a teacher unless you invest. But how is it having an extra income? Like, it's got to be refreshing to be able to do something you love and make a little extra income, right?
Oh, it's great. I remember the first time I was able to buy Disneyland, because we're in Southern California, so we can get Disneyland passes for cheaper. And I remember when I was able to pay like full cash for my whole family to go and not go into debt. And I go, wow, like this reselling game is definitely worth it. Because before, I remember, I'll give you a story. So I used to do Saturday school, right? Where all the best students show up, right? And so, and it would.
I was a part of that, I think.
You know what? I was a part. I was actually a C student in high school, and I went to Saturday school every Saturday. So, but that kind of helped me in my educational life. But I remember I would volunteer, and I would make $100 for 4 hours, right? And I remember I would go, wow, that's a lot of money.
Yep.
And then when I started reselling, I stopped doing the Saturday schools because I'm like, I'd rather go to a garage sale. There's so much more ROI. So it definitely changed my life, right? Would you say it changed some of your life too?
Yeah, no, it's been great. Right now, my wife and I are at a place where we're trying to figure out exactly like where we want to spend this money and what our plan is, right? Because we're big planners. And as this money started coming in, at first it was like, oh, I could, support some of my other hobbies. I thought it was just going to be a little money trickling in, and it's been, quite a bit, substantial money. So we're at a place where it was like, okay, we took one trip and that was fun. We paid for like an entire 3-day stay at a hotel and at a resort. It was great. And then we're like, all right, well, this is long-term and we're not going to just take a bunch of trips. So what are we going to do with this? So we've got, plans of paying off a car we just purchased, and then some other things we're thinking. And, it's just amazing to see that the money, what I keep telling people that ask about it, because people say like, oh, you started reselling. And when I tell them I'm making a lot of money, like, one, I don't want to seem like I'm bragging. But it's like this weird dichotomy where it's like, it's easy, but it's work, right? It's exciting. It's fun work. It's not as challenging as maybe, sitting in front of a desk and doing the mental drain of just typing all day long. But it's a lot of work. Like, you're spending hours and hours out researching and looking at things. Sometimes you win, sometimes you don't. So I want people to realize, like, there's definitely a lot of money to be made. It's exciting, it's fun, but it does take work. And so I think when you're willing to put in that work, I've realized that, the benefits definitely outweigh the costs.
Yeah. And we're big on reinvesting, right? You need that capital. Yep. Like, we're very big on, spend some, have some fun money, but you got to keep buying. Like, you got to build that pipeline.
Yep. I'd say 75% or more of the money that comes in is going right back into more capital.
And diapers.
And diapers.
And
yeah.
diapers.
So we just had
this. See more?
Yeah. Oh, yep. Well, heck yeah. Come on.
Okay. You got one? Okay.
I'm done.
You got a water bottle. So, let me see what I can. A couple items. All right. So,
you guys know nomads, right?
What was that?
The thrifting nomads. Have you heard of them?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yes, we actually started following them a couple of days ago. We've been DMing back and forth because they're nearby. They're in Fullerton, so they're great, and it's been awesome. We've been exchanging information the last few days, so it's been good.
You guys know that I went to high school and graduated high school in El Dorado, right?
No, did not know that.
Yeah.
It's great.
In fact, I lived in Yorba Linda for a very long time.
Nice.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was fun. My Fullerton, Yorba Linda, Anaheim, it's all kind of one area, guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
But,
Yeah, we need a SoCal meetup sometime.
dude, that's why you guys have the most amazing resellers in your area. Like, man, you got and then Hugo and his amazing wife.
That's right.
I mean, they were in LA. Like, you guys can crush it. You have so many amazing people in there. But anyways, go on with your live show. Go on with the
No, this is your show. We just do what you ask.
It is about you guys. It is about whoever's on with me. It is all. They don't want to hear me. They want to hear you guys. That's what they come for. So,
all right. So, this is an easy pickup. This is a camera, brand new, sealed. And I don't know how many out there do Amazon FBA. I told Mike I'm leery about Amazon, right? Like, Amazon brings me a lot of income. I'm probably at a 70-30, 70 Amazon, 30 eBay, but I have a weird model. Like, I use eBay to provide capital for my Amazon, right? Because the ROI on Amazon isn't as great as eBay, right? So that's kind of a function. So, this camera picked it up for $4, and you saw that on the Insta story. It goes for about $25, but it's ranked like 600 in electronics. So the moment, within a day of being in the warehouse, it'll be out of the warehouse. So,
wow. Everybody's saying they're from like San Diego. Was there, guys? If you're in California, let me know.
really?
Let me know if you're in California. Make sure you follow these amazing gentlemen on Instagram. Maybe you guys can get a meetup together.
Yeah, go do some garage sales, thrift stores together. That'd be awesome.
No, we know some of them because we've been contacting on Insta. So there's some great people out there. So, okay. So you got to guess. Okay, so I want to ask you how old you are, but did you watch TV shows in the 80s and 90s?
Let's just say I was born in the 80s.
Okay. Did your parents, like, maybe your aunt or your mom liked an attractive, hairy-chested guy with a mustache? Could that have happened?
Okay, wait. Let me see here, because is there any hairy-chested guys with a mustache? Give me a hint in chat, guys, if you guys know of a hairy-chested guy with a mustache
from the 80s.
From the 80s. I was born in 86.
Oh, okay. So maybe.
Yeah.
It is out of your range.
Okay, let me see.
He was a detective, I think.
Oh wait, are you talking? Is it Magnum PI?
Oh yeah, there you go. He got it.
Hey, I got it right.
Yeah. So I put it. Maybe it's on the Insta story. I asked this, and so picked up one of these Paradise Found Hawaiian shirts. Now, most veteran resellers know about these, but if you actually Google image, if you type in Tom Selleck Magnum PI Hawaiian shirt, this is the shirt you'll get. And I don't know. Have you seen one of these, Wade?
I've probably seen a few of those. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and these still sell.
Yeah. Hey, I do a lot of, like, all those bins up there are Hawaiian.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that. That's good. Do you put that in your title by chance to help or no?
I do. And I know sometimes I worry about a viral warning or it's going to get pulled down. But yeah, I've usually sold those shirts about $40 to $60 every time. I find the purple one that isn't authentic, not that it's not authentic, but it's not original to the show, sells better. But that one always sells. It's a good shirt. It's a great shirt.
This is why this is the exact reason why I like to have so many people on my show. Because I got to be honest, 99.999% of everybody having my show is smarter than I am. But I can get cool people on here that bring nuggets and different things. That's why we do the little haul video. Like, prime example here, guys, is why we do this. I saw Katie in the chat Monday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. She's going to be on. She's way smarter than I am. So, guys, I just want to appreciate you two for coming on and dropping the nuggets and the knowledge, because it's pretty incredible.
But that's the thing, though. There's so much for us to learn. Like, we started this podcast, we wanted to help people, but we also wanted to be part of the community.
Yep.
Right? We wanted to learn from others. I mean, there's so many people that came before us that have dropped so much knowledge. I wouldn't be full-time reselling if it wasn't for all those early YouTubers and podcast resellers that put information out.
So give me, I know where you guys are at. but give me like, where are you guys thrifting at? Like, give us like a day in the life of you guys when you're out there. Like, give us some nuggets, kind of where you guys are thrifting at. And then the next question is going to be, since you guys are teachers, right? Smart. What websites do you use or app do you use to kind of help you with your reselling? Could be anything, reselling related apps, websites, kind of where you thrift at, that kind of thing.
Okay, go ahead, man.
All right. Well, I think my model is going to change a little bit here since school's just now started back. Like this week we're back, so I don't have as much freedom. Obviously, Saturdays garage sales are great. I found that just using Craigslist and putting in like something within 10 miles of my radius has been really helpful. But thrift stores, yeah. So what I kind of had going, and I talk about in one of my podcasts is. I found that every thrift store in my area, whether it's Salvation Army or Goodwill or an AmVets or something similar, had specific days or sometimes random days that they would have sales, and they were terrible at advertising them. So it wasn't, like some stores were very consistent. Every Monday, shoes were $4, or every Tuesday, half the clothes are 50% off. But some of them you just didn't know. So I started making connections with some of the workers at different stores, getting on some email chains and getting those, finding out what stores had the sales. So I kind of had a route over the summer where every Monday there was like 3 stores that I would go to. And that's about as much as I could do with my son with me. He enjoyed it for a little while, but then, was ready for food and a diaper change and all that, and just wanted to get home for a nap. But yeah. And then as far as like specific apps and stuff, I feel like I'm still at the learning phase where I'm trying to figure out exactly, what's the best programs. I'm constantly learning new things. But in fact, in one of our podcasts is really funny. I had just discovered that eBay had the ability to scan a barcode. I had no idea, right? So every item I'm typing
for
in,
whatever reason, I never told them.
Yeah, and I guess I should have just realized what that camera was up at the top. But now I'm using the eBay app, obviously searching the history. I'm using the Amazon seller app, and I haven't actually sold it or even sent anything to Amazon, but I've got the account set up so that I can scan items if they're new in box and kind of see, are they selling? What are they selling for? And then even checking Amazon, because sometimes when it comes to listing something on eBay, you might think you've got a good price, but if it's selling much cheaper on Amazon, well, that's also your competition. So that's kind of the research I've been doing.
Mm-hmm. And so we go back and forth. Like, so the Amazon seller app, it's kind of weird. Like we do eBay, right? A lot of eBay, but we use the Amazon seller app just for the ranking. So we know if it's still worth picking up, right? Because sometimes you look at sold and eBay only gives you the past 90 days. And it could have been a fluke, something sold for 100, but it could have been just because that point in time, that person really needed it and needed to buy it. I've been using, there's Terapeak and WorthPoint, but you got to pay for those. I usually just jump in and do a free trial and then cancel my free trial if need be. I haven't done that in a while. But eBay always is the one. Amazon's the other one. I do use, when I plan my routes, there's this website called Route Excel, and it's routeexcel.com. And I don't know if it's a big time. I've just something I've used, maybe something better, but I'll just put addresses where I want to start my garage sale or my thrifting and where I want to end. And then you put all your addresses in, and then you hit find route, and it'll map it out. And so then you're being efficient with your time, with your gas, and you're going through that route and you're hitting everything you want. I also find Keepa.com. I'm sure many people know about that. A lot of Amazon sellers use it, but I think it's helpful for eBay too, because then you know where the market's going, right? In Q4, we talk a lot about Amazon, but there's a lot of stuff that sells on eBay in Q4 too, especially new toys that people are looking for. And so that's one of the other apps we're really big on. And I would say that those are pretty much it. I mean, we always use Google, right? Yeah. That's last minute resort. Google Image, sometimes I'll upload a photo if I don't know what the item is, and it'll find similar photos. It doesn't always work. It's kind of like the eBay app does that too, but it's not that great either, But those are the main apps I think we use, right?
Yeah. What about you? What are you using? What are you using that we're not using?
So that's a good question. Let me pull up my link tree right now and see if I just make sure I can rattle these things off here. One thing too, I want to ask you guys while I pull this up is, what are you guys as teachers? You guys are smart cookies. So what are you guys doing for your tax? You guys got CPAs? Like, are you using GoDaddy? What kind of tax stuff are you guys using to keep track?
So so I don't think, Mike, you're not using anything yet, right?
I haven't got to the point yet. Obviously, this being my first year selling, I've got an Excel sheet inventory. I've got I keep track of the price.
He's pretty organized.
Yeah, I'm organized. So the price I pay for every item, what it costs to ship, the mileage it took to go get it. So I've got it all prepared. But
wow, you do mileage too?
Oh yeah, you've got to.
Wow, you're on top of things.
You gotta.
Okay.
The IRS will pay you when you do, right?
We always talk about the IRS. Hopefully, he's not listening. So. No, and so Mike's really organized, and I joke about this all the time. Like, my reselling grew so big so fast, I wasn't thinking about organizing. Now, luckily, I grew up listening to not GoDaddy, Scavenger Life. I don't know if many people have heard Scavenger Life, but to me, they are like I would say the authority on building your eBay business very organically. Like doing the old school, going to garage sales, thrifting, finding items, and so they're big on GoDaddy bookkeeping. And so I picked that up 3 years ago, and it's been awesome. You know, you link your PayPal card. I have my Southwest Airlines card linked to it, and I'm also gonna have a CPA do my taxes. And so because I just don't want to, you know, I did my TurboTax. This is a crazy story. I did TurboTax for 4 years. Things are smooth sailing. And then last summer, I get this letter from the IRS. I'm like, oh no. And it was a $1,300 bill. And supposedly TurboTax is supposed to, like, you know, calculate everything, make sure everything's all good. Not this time. Now, luckily, I had capital, so I paid off that $1,300 and we were good. But man, after that, I'm like, I'm doing CPA next year, not doing this again.
Oh yeah, I would agree. Like, I feel like CPAs are kind of like that date that you need to go on. Like, when you what I mean by that, guys, is when you get a CPA, here's the thing. The biggest tip I can give you with the CPA is, like, go and search. There's different types of CPAs. Find a few of them, like 3 or 4, and go to every single one until you find one that you like out of the 3 and narrow it down and then pick one. Like, just don't go to one and then stick with them. Like, I've seen that happen many times. Like, go to a few of them in your area, and I like to find a CPA that's, like, close to me. So if I have an issue, I can jump in the car and go over there and be like, "Hey, what's going on?"
Yeah, that's great.
But that's just me. That's 2 tips. All right, so I've got some. Who's doing the interview, guys? Man, I like this style. You can tell they're a podcast.
If there's ever a dead time, we still have more items. So just, you know.
We got plenty of time, trust me. All right, so I'm going to rattle these off. Storage unit auction list. That's the site I use constantly.
Okay.
That's to find storage units.
Auction tip. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh my God, I would crush it if I was in your area, but they're a little bit more expensive in San Diego and LA. Another one is Storage Treasures. I use that site constantly to buy storage auctions. Another one that I like, where I got that Nike haul. I got this vintage Nike haul with all brand new tags. And this is a really good site to use for, like, pallets for clothing, because you get a lot of government liquidations. But it's govdeals.com now. That's basically where all the big nonprofits, and it used to be .org. I don't know if they changed it, but all the big nonprofits, all the government entities, they'll go to them to auction off their items, and that's a good one to use. I also like Vintage Guild. That's a good site. That's a site that they only invite people to know what they're talking about with, like, really old clothing, like 16, 17, 18, 1900s.
Wow.
That's a really good one. Wholesale. Well, let's see. That site's kind of taking a downward spiral. I like Auction Zip. Estate Sales. Is it estatesales.com or .net? I don't know. Or let's see.
.net.
Yeah. That's a good one. And then as for apps, guys, well, let's see here. That's a good question. Let's see. So I got a few of them that I use. Not a lot, though, guys. I do use GoDaddy bookkeeping because I love GoDaddy because it auto syncs all your expenses. The only thing that I don't like about GoDaddy is the fact that they don't do Poshmark right now, or at least what I understand. So, but yeah, there's not many apps that I use that you guys don't know of. Yard Sale app is one that I use. I do. Man, I haven't used Uber in forever. That's on here. Yeah, I don't Uber around here. Let's see. Yeah, there's not much. Ernie is the app that I would recommend, though, if you want to save a little money. Ernie will send you checks. So basically what it is you link your debit or credit cards to it. And then what it will do basically is if you purchase anything through those cards within 30 days and the price drops, those cards, you basically, Ernie, the app will dispute the charge and then give you,
that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it will give you the difference. So if you look at my Instagram, I did a post on it a while ago. I can't find it.
That is a great tip.
Yes. Oh, it's amazing. And now it's like, let's say it drops like $6, then they'll send you a check of the exact difference, and they only take a little portion of that. So I'm trying to find. Anyways, guys, it is really incredible, and it's 100% safe. You download this app, and it'll give you the difference on any of your purchases on those cards, which is really cool. And everything adds up when you're a reseller, right, guys?
Yeah,
it
absolutely.
does.
All right, let's do some more of this haul because that's what people love. People love this haul.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna have to get out of the camera for a moment. Just give me a moment.
He literally brought crates of stuff.
Oh, let me order some pizza here. Guys, I put their YouTube channel in chat. Make sure you subscribe if you're showing up late. They're amazing. I should have had them on a long time ago.
So some of our early Insta followers, they've seen this stuff, or they've seen our Insta stories. But I just want to bring this up because, these are things you don't think about. At least I still don't think about. Like, I miss it. Like, I go into an estate sale, and I remember this one estate sale I went to. It was all full of books. And I go, Reezy Resales would love this place. But me, not my place, right? And then I turn around, and then I see this just sitting there.
Oh.
You tell what that is? Fully sealed. I can't even tell if it's focusing.
That wasn't that on a Marvel movie recently? No, that was a cassette. Sorry.
No, it's a CD, and I've picked up CD. I've picked up Sony Walkmans before that are sealed, but never a CD. And she was really pricing up the books, and this thing was on the side. And I go, I know I'm going to get this for cheap because she's only caring about the books. So on my way out, I'm like, this looks kind of cool. What would you do for this? Right. And this is one of the rules that Mike and I always have. We never mention the price first. Let the other person do it. Awkward silence is golden. And so she goes, I don't know, $2. And I'm like, I don't know, $2. Maybe it doesn't work. How about $1? And she's like, okay, fine. I need to get rid of it anyways.
Oh my God, mic drop, guys.
Yeah, that's where the hustle comes from in Pure Hustle. You gotta hustle and haggle, right?
I like it. Man, I can't take this shirt thrifting. It wouldn't work. Maybe.
I don't know. We're pretty vocal about we're resellers when we go places, and it opens doors for us. So I don't know. Would you find that experience? Like, do you ever have people ask you, and once you say you're a reseller, they show you more, or they're willing to work with you?
Yeah, here's the thing. Everybody in chat knows this. Like, I've never not said it once. There's only one place I wouldn't say I'm a reseller. I 100% of the time will always mention I'm a reseller because the worst case scenario definitely does not outweigh the best case scenario, which is opening doors and building relationships. Like, I'm 100% on board with that.
What can we ask you what the one place is you wouldn't say you're a reseller?
That's a good question. That's a good. Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight.
Are we talking to a podcast right now? I tell you, these guys, I tell you, they're good. They're good. They're really, really good. So the one place I wouldn't, I'm actually going to wait this as a teaser and do it at the end of the show.
Okay.
Works for us.
That's fair.
Yeah. I want to, no, everybody's saying tell. I'm doing it for them. You guys wait until the very end, then I'll tell you.
Okay. So I'll show you one more, and then I think we'll end our haul so we don't bore people. So if you ever see old vintage sealed games, I don't know if you can see that on the camera. So usually you only get this, right? You don't get like these extras. So if you look at these sealed on eBay, they're going for like 100, 130, 150. And we're big fans, at least I am. And Mike's kind of fleshing it out still. Like, you price it high. Like, if there aren't comps, price it high and then let people send you offers, right? Because the market will dictate what something is worth. right? And time will dictate, right? Because sometimes you'll let something sit for a month and you get like a bunch of lowball offers and you're like, oh, maybe I should sell it off, right? It's kind of like the Harley jacket I sold today, right? I've gotten $65 offers on that, but I knew it was $300. And sure enough, today somebody paid $300. So same thing with this. Now I have this pretty high. I do have it listed for about $300. But I've just, hey, if somebody will give me a decent offer, I'll take it. So, but there are no comps.
The thing about that is there's two good things about that. One, you're building your store up with really quality inventory that people are being drawn to your store, right? I think that's huge. I love having, like, I have this vintage 1980s Nike rope that I don't think has ever been used. A rope, right? It's that's Nike. Cool. It's crazy. Yeah. No comps out there like it. And I have it up there, like, I think it's $420 for this thing. And if nothing else, all the Nike collectors and everything else is looking at that. And I guarantee a Nike collector, if they see something like that, it's going to look at my store and see all my other Nike, right? So I just think it's really cool. To your point too, like you got your bread and butter, but you also need to get like those home runs and price them high and see what happens. I'm a big fan of that, just to gauge the market. So.
And we're big on eventually you keep buying, you'll be able to get to a place where you just buy home runs. Now that's, I don't think you always will be able to do that, because like today I picked up things that weren't home runs, but they're still bread and butter. But, you talk about that Nike robe. I had a polo blazer that I bought at a community sale, and they had super nice embroidery. They were green jackets, no comps anywhere. And I listed them for about $200 a piece, and they sold, in a year for about $150 each. And I paid like $5 for each of them, right? So it doesn't hurt, but part of it, Mike's building his pipeline, and I build my pipeline, and it's, you got to have the bread and butter so then you can hold out for the bigger items.
Yeah, that's where it gets a little, I've got my items that are selling quickly. They're not in my store very long, and this is a really low number, and I don't want to stay at this number very long, but sometimes it's, just $5 to $8 profit on an item, So when that's your profit margin, and you're the one packaging it, and you're the one printing the label, and you're the one driving it to the post office, it's great to build that capital so that you have the money to buy those bigger items or those things that, it's one item that you're shipping out and you're making $200-$300 on it. So it's kind of that progression of sometimes you got to get those smaller items, and then eventually we'll have enough of the big items that as those sell, whether it's slowly or right away, then the money will increase.
Mm-hmm. It gives you confidence, I think, too. Like, I get that, the majority, we all want to sell and make $30, $50, $100 profit on items, but there's one thing I can guarantee everybody in chat will agree with me is there's one sound at night in this whole world that you're okay with waking you up at night, and that's the cha-ching, right? Whether it's 1 a.m. or 6 a.m. or excuse me, 1 a.m. or 6 a.m. We love that cha-ching. So I think it builds confidence too, especially for new eBayers. So
I 100% agree.
So tell me a little bit about what you guys are doing to prepare for the fourth quarter. Like, what are you guys doing to up your game going into fourth quarter?
Well, for me, part of this, I really got interested in doing this was last year, Q4, Orlando was talking about, the things that he was buying at stores. He was doing a lot through Amazon, but also a lot through eBay. And it was those numbers he was showing me on his phone that made me jealous enough or envious enough that I was like, okay, I'm doing this. So I'm excited for Q4. I'm not 100% sure all of the little niches and niches I want to get into. But my main thing I'm doing right now is I'm trying to build my store up. So currently on eBay, I'm at about 100, which, just 3 weeks ago, I was at like 30, and a couple weeks before that, it was like 10. So I'm growing quickly, but I want to have, by the time that Q4 starts, about 500 items in my store. Some are going to be those used items that I'm finding at thrift stores or garage sales, but I'd also want to increase the number of new sealed inbox items that I can get, knowing that, as people are Christmas shopping, that's what they're looking for. So right now, my main just focus is get as many items in that store as possible. That way it's consistent sales happening, and the money that I get will be higher week by week. And the sooner that happens, the more capital I'll have come come this November, December, Christmas rush.
And I want to throw out a warning out there. Like if you're a new seller and you're building up your store for Q4 and you're trying to sell vintage items, and I could be wrong, maybe I'm wrong, but Q4 is not the vintage item kind of place. That's my sense. Like used clothing, and if somebody in the chat completely disagrees, please let us know, because I went through this. I remember I was so pumped about Q4, and I got all my Harley gear, my Hawaiian shirts, and all my shoes, right? And Black Friday comes, and it's like, this is the deadest day I've had like in a month. And I remember listening to some of the YouTubers, and I'm like, okay, I'm not the only one. Like, this is an Amazon-driven holiday, right? So what you need to look for, I would say for Q4 is what Mike is saying. You know, you got to find those toys or those new box items that people will want and get them at a good price. So you kind of have to expand beyond thrift stores. You have to go, like, for instance, I go to the Nike store. So Friends and Family happened 2 weeks ago. And I go to a clearance store where the lids are cut off, so you can't send them to Amazon. But these shoes will sell in Q4 on eBay, right? Or, you know, you go to TJ Maxx, you go to Marshall's, kind of, you know, watch Hustler Hacks and the Hustle Bee and others. Those are the kind of items that will do well in Q4. So I don't want anyone going to Q4 with other garage sale finds, right, and going, why isn't anybody buying my stuff? Everybody lied to me about Q4. You kind of have to go where the market's going, right? Most people are buying new toys and electronics on that Black Friday. So that makes sense?
Oh, 100%. I do sell, you know, vintage stuff on Q4, but the majority, the expectation that there's going to be two types of resellers going into Q4. There's going to be the resellers that, you know, basically want Q4 to, you know, uplift them and ride that momentum and hope for it. Or there's going to be the resellers that put in the work before Q4 and really do ride the momentum. Like you can't have Q4 and think that that's gonna propel you in sales without doing the work, or more importantly, like having blinders on and doing what you've been doing going into a season that primarily is for new stuff. So no, I think that's huge. Shoes is amazing. You know, the Nike, you know, anything new shoe wise should do pretty well in Q4. I think you do need to assess what kind of inventory you have going into it. But you know, I did well last year with vintage clothing.
That's good. I see, and I could be wrong.
But my stuff is pretty old, or was in Q4 last year. So
okay.
I don't know if it was Q4 doing it or if it was just Nike collectors. So I couldn't tell you.
I see what you're saying.
Kathy says, I sell men's clothing mostly, used a lot of vintage. Q4 is huge for me. Maybe not
That's
Black
awesome.
Friday. But here's the thing, though. I was telling this with Chris when I was live on his show. Think of Q4 as a way to not only sell your inventory or make a lot of money. I mean, it is a busier time of year. I think partly because it's the time of year, another part because it's not as nice out and people are actually at the computer shopping.
Right.
But the big thing, though, is also change your thinking and use it as an opportunity to source for the remainder of the year. I think that's huge, too. And so I was telling Chris, I was like, that's one thing that I wish I would have done when I first started, was put a portion of my sales away to build that nest egg to where I can do bulk buying, or I can do like wholesale buying during Q4 for, you know, the remainder of the year. So anyways, I would agree with you, though. Like, you have to change your thinking going to Q4 and definitely gear towards, if you can, newer items and or desirable items, stuff that will be purchased for Q4. So
I did want to add one more thing, though. Like, January is my biggest eBay month. And the reason is either because people have gift cards or they have spending cash, but I find that eBay like takes off in January. And maybe that was just for me, but Q4 to me extends into January. So just, you know, don't be discouraged. Like, there's going to be people that are going to want your items in January.
Oh yeah, I did really good in January, and I think here's the thing. So a lot of people just don't like listing. I mean, that's the sad truth. They just don't like sitting there listing, right? So for me, what helped me last year was I got an accountability partner, and I know this sounds, you know, amateur-ish a little bit.
Oh, that's good.
So accountable, but you need to have that person. Like, you're sitting next to a really amazing reseller that you communicate with daily. And for me, I've got to do the same thing. So if you guys don't have an accountability partner, try to get one. Kathy's got her amazing fiance. She's her accountability partner. Hugo and his wife. So try to find somebody there that can keep you accountable starting now to get your inventory to where it needs to be for Q4.
Yeah, Orlando asks me, I'd say every other podcast, how are those death piles doing, right? So that I don't want to be like a fool on the podcast and say I still haven't got through it.
Well,
so
it keeps me on point too, because how can I judge him if I still have a whole death pile behind me?
Oh yeah,
right? Judge not lest you be judged, right? So
yes, you guys. How amazing are you guys? I'm surprised more people need to discover you guys. We need to have you on the show again for sure.
Thank you, appreciate that.
Because you guys have some serious, not only chemistry, but like knowledge. Like I really do appreciate you guys. So tell me a little bit about kind of like, how has social media changed your reselling game? Like how has being online, meeting people, being a part of this community, like helped you guys in your reselling journey?
So I do most of social media. So Mike and I kind of agreed when we started off, like he's going to do all the tech stuff, the podcast stuff. I'll run that social media. So if you see a lot of the Insta stories, it's pretty much me, because Mike is full-time in the classroom. But I will tell you, social media, I went dark in social media for 10 years. So this June 16 was the first time I was on social media since 08 or 09. Like that's how long. So I didn't know how to use an Instagram or a Snapchat or any of that. I had dabbled in Facebook, and I told Mike, I said, Mike, actually, sorry, I did do social media. I ran the Twitter account for the school. Don't ask me why I did that, but I did a terrible job. Like had I listened to or read Crushing It before I started doing the social media for the school, it would have been a whole different animal. But I didn't touch the book Crushing It by Gary Vee until the beginning of June, because I said, Mike, I think this guy knows. I think Gary Vee knows what he's talking about. I think we need to read this book. And as soon as I read it, and I told him, and he goes, okay, I'll listen to it too. And we're like, we need to be a presence. And so what we found was that the reseller community is so inviting. That's what right now, just connecting with you already. It's only been a little bit over a month. This morning I was DMing Reezy Resells while he's in Europe. You know what I mean? Like, these people that I had been watching for years, and Mike asked me today, does it feel weird that you're like communicating with these resellers we used to watch and now like we're in conversation? What I found was, number one, it's a very humble community. Like there isn't a lot of arrogance going around, right? Because everybody now there may be some, but we haven't experienced that. And we notice that people are very willing to share information, very willing to network with you, share their ideas. And the other thing I told Mike, I said, it keeps us accountable. Like we got to be real. Like one of our slogans is be real, be relevant, be reselling. And, we don't want to, be fake on Instagram. We want to say, hey, we sold this for 1,000. Like, no, like people can put keywords and find our store and find what we sold. Right. So it's been good. It keeps accountable. Right. I make sure I take care of death piles because I want to, be truthful when I talk to people. And I find that social media, number one, has been great to connect with people, has made us up our reselling game. Would you say that?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, because now it's like, hey, we're doing a podcast, we're trying to help people out, but if we're not doing the business ourselves, like there's no validity to what we're saying.
Amazing. So I'm gonna echo a few pointers there. So one, I have a good friend of mine that's here in Portland, and really amazing guy. And he asked me, he's like, hey, how can I grow my Instagram? And I said, look, you have to show your journey. Like you have to show what you're picking up and what you're selling. Like you have to show that. And then he told me, well, he's worried that if he tells me, or if he shows people what he's picking up, it'll breed competition. And I explained to him, I was like, that's furthest from the truth. There's no way you can be a market mover like that. And if you post something showing what you're doing, other people are going to soon do it and you'll be flooded. It just doesn't work that way. There's no way that even me with 14,000 people on Instagram, if I post I'm selling something, I'm going to move the market out. There's no way I'm going to do that. So my advice to him was to show every inch and every little second that he's doing regarding his business, show what he's selling, and the people will follow you. And not only that, but you have to be authentic. Like people can sniff people out that are not authentic quick. It's very easy to do that. So you have to be authentic. And I think number three is the fact that the reselling community seems big, but it's actually very small. Like it's a very small. I mean, there's a lot of people, but what I mean by that is, in retrospect, reselling in general is not massive. There's different niches. Like you got your eBay people over here, and then you've got your retail arbitrage. But in general, everybody is extremely approachable. Like for example, Kathy, she's amazing. I'll use her as a reference. We didn't talk much up until recently, and then I saw her at eBay Open. She's amazing, super approachable. And then I leave eBay Open and I give her a call on her phone and have her place a $1,000 bet for me in Vegas, right? So it's all I can say, and there's nobody else I trust in Vegas, so I had to call her. But I was trying to think, I was like, who do I know in Vegas? And I don't know anybody, but she was amazing, and we almost won that game, by the way, guys.
Oh, that's rough to hear.
But I am 9-3, so I can't complain. But that being said, though, I guess my point, guys, is be authentic, show your process, and don't. I guess the biggest thing is don't worry about the money. And the reason I posted that YouTube clip on Instagram to show that I've only made $340 or something on YouTube is to show people that I obviously am not doing it for the money, because my camera alone costs that. And then you've got all my editing gear, which is like over $1,000 for all the different programs they use for that. And then you've got everything else. Like, I'm not here for the money, but you can make money. You just have to be consistent and post your process, and people will come. So I love your slogan. I appreciate that, because I feel that if you're honest to people, like, you'll get so much better response from them, if that makes sense. So
I agree 100%.
Yeah, and that goes along the lines of, like, one of my first questions I asked Orlando on our very first podcast is, like, why are we doing this, right? Like, I'm super stoked that you've got all this information that you're going to give me, but, like, shouldn't I keep it secret, right? So nobody else knows, because I think that's a genuine fear, is that the more people who know, the market will be flooded and you won't be able to make money. And I've discovered two things. The first thing is, like I said kind of earlier, is it's still work, right? Like, you've got to be willing to hustle. You've got to be willing to put in the work to go out and research, to be sourcing items. You've got to be willing to do that. And I feel like the people who are willing to do that are few and far between, right? Like, your followers, the people who are commenting in your comment board, those are the people who are willing to work, to listen, to do the research. And so it's not like every single person I tell is all of a sudden going to start buying stuff at the thrift stores, right? 1 out of 1,000 people might be willing to do that work. So it's not going to be that much competition building anyways. And the other thing is, I've learned so much about what to buy, when to buy, where to buy it by following other people. And what I hope is that I can share a few things, like, hey, here's a quick thing I found. One of our early episodes, we talked about duck decoy that I found, right? And that was a market that Orlando didn't know anything about. And we talked about it and found that, like, there was money there. So it's kind of interesting to see how I've grown and how other people are grown, even like somebody who knows way more than I do, just because I have a little bit to share. He has something to share. And like, my wife has been following different people on Instagram and YouTube, and it's been cool to watch her come to me and tell me about brands and things. And I'm like, wait a minute, I thought I was the eBay seller, right? And so I'm just blessed to be a part of this community and be helping other people, learn things. And then hopefully I've got this vision. We've got the Twitter and the Instagram, and I've got this vision of on our Twitter, on our Instagram, where people, like, once a week, hashtag Pure Hustle Podcast or hashtag Hustle of the Week of what they got while they were out, what their BOLO was, because we want to, with our platform, be sharing that stuff with other people, because I'm probably walking by in a store, good sales, good items that I have no idea about. So if somebody would share that information with me, that's going to help me out, and I could share with them, and it helps. So I just want, the community to get stronger as a whole.
Huge. I think that would be really, really cool. You guys are going to go very far. And where are you guys getting these t-shirts printed at?
So this is kind of funny. So these are like, okay, so I have an Merch by Amazon account. So I had them on there, but I messed up on the design, right? So I couldn't get them off of there. I just went to a t-shirt mart. That's all I did. And I just got them printed the day before, because I knew we were coming on, and we don't want to be people that, like, sell stuff. Like, that's not our thing. We just wanted to get our name out there. And so that's all we did. We went to T-shirt Mart and got a few shirts. I actually have a couple extra, but that's kind of where we're at. So nothing special.
Yeah.
Well-
do you happen to have anybody in your comment section there who's interested in a T-shirt?
We may have to do a little giveaway.
That'd be
I
awesome.
have an idea for a giveaway, but it's gonna be a tough one.
No, do it.
Okay, so we have two. Let me give you the shirt sizes though, because I'm not sure. And if you only knew the death pile I have behind me.
Let's do. We need to do a rapid. We got to at least show. Oh man, we got to see that pile.
Well, I don't know. Can we? There's a ton of junk. There's more stuff for the haul, but we'll leave that for another time. Okay, so we have two shirts. Real quick, we have a size large in men's. Okay, size large, and we have a size medium in men's. I'm sorry, ladies, we didn't, but
They can wear the medium. Come on, ladies.
I know, but maybe this is when you do your grunge work or you work out, when it doesn't have to.
When you're out in the garage and you're listing items.
Yeah, I have one of the Goodwill managers that I'm a good friends with. She works on cars. She would love to wear one of these. So, okay, so I don't know. Should we ask this question? I don't know how many people have listened to our podcast, but go ahead. You got a question.
I was just gonna say that. So there's what's called the Portland Trailblazers. They're Portland Trailblazers, NBA basketball team, and the media crew for them does "Where in the World is the Blazers?" and they take a picture of their Blazer shirt, right, all over the world, or it could be the state too. You guys should run this competition on Twitter and Instagram. And then once you send a T-shirt to the person that won, they can find something they thrifted at and take a picture with the T-shirt and the item they thrifted at to give you guys more exposure. And it'd be kind of cool too. Where in the world did I pick this, this item up and I'm wearing my T-shirt or something? I don't know. We'll have to think about that. But you guys are going to inspire me to create a T-shirt as well, I think.
I want to throw out an idea. Can I throw out an idea?
Throw out a couple ideas. Yes.
Okay. So in episode 3, so this is our least listened to episode. Maybe because we titled it "The Importance of Research" or something like that. I think we changed it to "Don't Lose Money Research" or something. We try to get creative with it. So in there we talk about this plush that I picked up at an Amvets for $15 and I flipped for over $400. Now it's a Disney plush. And the reason I was able to flip it for instead of 60 or 70 to 400 is because I did the research. So the first 2 people that DM us with what Disney character that was, or you put in the chat, we will give these shirts. And on our Insta, when the contest is over, we'll announce it so people know it's over. So first 2 people, all right? So DM us on Insta. We're Pure Hustle Podcast. Does that work?
That would be amazing, guys. Go check out. I already showed you their Instagram, but it's Pure Hustle Podcast.
So we're on Spotify, we're on iTunes, we're on Anchor, you can watch us on YouTube if you want to see our smiling faces.
Yeah, every podcast that we do, we film it also. So if you're the person that likes to, see and have the videos up there. But one of the reasons we do podcasts is because, when you're driving in your car, you're working out in the garage, sometimes it's nice not to have a YouTube video open, taking your data or whatever. So
huge. And you those of you who know, you have to have YouTube open to listen to it and watch it. So that's why I like your guys' podcast. I think it's cool because if you're working out, let's say you got Thrifty Nomads there in California working hard, making that money. They
hustle.
Jeez. Yeah, I think they said they're going to give me a free camera. I don't know. We'll have to see.
Oh yeah, I saw that today.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they said they'd give me one free here. Let me see. Let me pull this up. No, I'm joking. No, they're amazing. You guys have really cool people in California.
Yeah.
All right, so DM us if you know what that Disney character plush is. First 2 people will give you one of the shirts. We'll just mail it out to you, and there we go.
Guys, I'm telling you, these folks are amazing. I'm going to put their link in their YouTube /podcast/ because I love the fact that I can see you if I want and or listen to your podcast. So, all right. So one last question. This last question is very, very, very good. You guys ready?
I hope so.
What tips? Now this could be a broad question. What tips, tricks, or hacks that you what tips, tricks, or hacks that you guys use on your reselling journey that possibly you find that a lot of people don't use that would be helpful for them?
Do you want to go first?
I think you should go first on this one.
There's so much. I would say, it's very basic what we're going to share, because a lot of this, it's not rocket science. It's just putting in the work, right? So for me, it's, if there's a certain niche that you want to learn, like spend 10 minutes every morning during breakfast looking at completed solds, right? Just so you have like Mike, actually, didn't you do that one time before a garage sale? And what'd you end up picking up?
Gosh, I picked up a few things, but I got some. I don't remember what I got for that one, but
Was it like Red Wings?
Oh yeah. I got a Red Wings boots, and I had just looked up shoes, and I saw that they were selling, for fairly expensive. And I was able to talk a lady on a brand new in the box pair of Red Wing boots. She wanted 80 for them. I think I talked her down to like 15. So yeah, and I had no idea they would have, worth that, but I did the research ahead of time.
Yeah. The other thing is also make sure that you are willing. Like, it was funny when I was at the Goodwill today. I was going through items, and I remember hearing Jason T. Smith. So, can I share a quick story? What got us into reselling? I think the audience will like the story, or maybe I think the story's cool and no one else does. But so years ago, remember Storage Hunters? Like, that was a big show. Like, everybody loved that.
Oh yes.
And then after that, there's this other show called Thrift Hunters, right? And probably everybody in the chat seen it at some point in time. And I remember sitting on my couch going, why would I want to watch that? A bunch of people going to thrift stores? That's such a loser show. I remember, and I go, the money's in the storage units, which I know, wait, that's what you do primarily, right? So, and I remember I watched it, and it was Jason T. Smith and his partner, and I go, wait a second, they actually bought stuff and it sold, right? And then I started catching on to this, and then me and two other buddies, we go, you know what? Let's start off with $20. This is actually how I got into reselling. Let's start off with $20, and let's see how far this goes in a year. And the winner will buy everybody else dinner, right? So it wasn't self-serving. It was to help everybody else out. So we start going, and sure enough, I pick up a stroller for $7, and I flip it for $45 the baby resale. Then I pick up a Hawaiian shirt. And then my other buddies are slowly doing things. And one time we're eating together, and they're like, hey, Orlando, so I got like 5 items in my store. How many do you got? And I go, I got 43. And they're like, what? And so it just kept building and building and building. Now, my other two friends, they stopped doing the reselling. But that's what got me going into this. And so I go full circle. Jason T. Smith, I remember one of the episodes that I don't know if the show's on anymore. He talked about, like, he touches about 5,000 items when he walked into a store. And when I first started reselling, I remember that stuck in my mind. Like, I'd go through the store, and I would go through everything until I finally got a good handle. Like, you watch some of these YouTubers now, right? They go into a store, they're in there 5 minutes, right? Boom, out, right? But that's because they've already learned. Like, they don't need to go through that. So one of the tips is, if you're new, learn. Go into the women's section, go into electronics, go into the kids section, and eventually you'll find what you don't like. But you'll have that strong knowledge base. That's huge. Would you agree?
Yeah, that's good advice.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing. Like, it's funny you mentioned that, because I think you're spot on. Like, for example, the retail arbitrage side of people purchasing shoes. I find that a lot of people go into Ross, Marshalls, and they'll go to the shoe wall, right? Especially Ross. And they'll pick one shoe up, they'll pull a comp, and then they'll put the shoe down. And I recommend people bring a shopping cart when they first start, and putting all the shoes in the shopping cart that you're interested in, sitting down and going through comps that way. It slows the process down, and you learn more shoes. Because I find if you just look at a shoe and you pick it up, and then you look at another shoe and you pick it up, your eyes are only going towards what you know. So you pick up stuff that you don't necessarily know. You sit down, and it's going to force yourself to look at the comps, and then you can kind of broaden your horizon past the Nikes, the Adidas, and the Under Armour, and go towards stuff like that, earlier in the show. So it's guys, I appreciate you coming on. I really do. I hope everybody subscribes to your YouTube channel. Those of you who are watching this after the fact or listening to it, I'm going to put their link is in the comments. It's in the chat. It's also in the description of the video, guys. And I'm really excited to see what you guys come up with. Can you tell me what the snapshot is for you guys' YouTube for the end of the year? Like, how often do you guys do podcasts?
Well, we've got a podcast going up every week. So
Every Wednesday, pretty much.
Every Wednesday, we've got another one being uploaded. So whether you want to listen to it or watch it, just check us out on Wednesday. And then throughout the week on Instagram, Orlando's killing it with the posts. I mean, like advice and I mean, you asked about advice. He posted a video a few weeks ago of using a heat gun to remove the sticker labels that stores put on top of, clearance stickers, and it just melts that sticker right off, right? And that was a really successful one. And those are things like we talk all the time, and he never told me that. And I see that video, and I'm like, wow, like I'm learning from my own Instagram.
The glue melts and it comes right off.
So check us out. Wednesdays we're uploading new content all the time, and then throughout the week there's constant tips and things, things we're finding to.
And we do have some other. We have some videos in the works. We have a ride along video. I have a whole Toys R Us journey video that I'm still editing, and the sad part about it, the sound and the video isn't that great because we were just starting. I just wanted to document it. But it was pretty awesome. There's going to be a great story. I'm going to wait to share it till the end of December where Toys R Us was clearing out their warehouses. And there were some toys that didn't see the light of day for like 10 years. And I came across a couple walls of those. And what I'm finding right now is that Walmart is stocking their shelves with toys that Toys R Us only carried. And now it's in Walmart. But the toys that I came across are toys that aren't new. And they're discontinued and people want. So I want to share that, but I have like I don't know, is it 10 feet, the receipt? It's a pretty long receipt.
Oh my gosh.
So we want to put that content out, but we're holding out because, we don't, Amazon FBA is a different beast. You know what I mean? Like you got to be careful, but we want to show that footage. And there's other ride-alongs. We want to put garage sales on there. So we want to get rolling with that. We just wanted to get the podcast moving right now. So.
Guys, really cool. Really, really cool. Now, you've seen my live shows. We always end on a positive note. This does not need to be reselling related at all. But what inspiration can you leave the 50 people watching? Now, before you do that, guys, like this video. We as creators don't get paid anymore, but it goes out in the YouTube world. And more people can discover this amazing podcast. Lisa, thank you so much for subscribing to their YouTube channel. Guys that are in chat, please subscribe. But anyways, words of wisdom for life. That helps you.
I've got so many that I could mention that I kind of live by. But one that we just talked about in a recent podcast, and I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but I feel like it's really important, especially when you're out there, making connections with people and just dealing with people. Maya Angelou has a quote, something to the effect of, people will forget what you did and what you said, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. Right. So when you meet somebody, when you're at that store, when you're at a garage sale, or when you're just dealing with people around you, whether it's your family, friends, or a stranger that you're meeting at a gas station, make people feel good by being kind, being nice. And it pays off, right? Because people will remember not always what you said or did, but they'll always remember, you made them feel good, or that you didn't make them feel good. So just be positive, be upbeat, be somebody who gives to others, and you'll be remembered for that.
That's good. Okay, I think we should end on that one, huh?
Wow, can we have a rewind button? Feelings are very powerful. So I cannot agree more on that. That's awesome.
All right, so mine's not as deep as that. Mine is more of, listen, if you're doing your research and you're putting in the comps and you're putting in the work, it will pay off. I've had the summers where it's been super slow, and I remember taking my store from 500 to 1,000 items. And when Q4 hit, and I talked about how Q4 was slow for me on Black Friday, but Q4 overwhelmingly, still rides that wave. Whether you're doing eBay or Poshmark, whatever it is, people want your items. So if you're doing the work now, don't be discouraged. Like keep grinding, because in the end it will pay off. The key thing is research and hustle. You do those together and you keep moving forward, like you will see the benefits, and you will definitely level up your standard of living. I mean, that's one of the biggest things we want to bring to people through the podcast.
Well, guys, this has been a hard video here, huh? Seriously, I'll have you guys back on. And
okay, thank you.
Make the most easy. You guys make my job easy. Lauren is giving you guys. Amazing hearts, thrifty nomads, solid. You guys rock.
Oh, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Gal's saying brilliant. People subscribing to your YouTube channel. Rosie says I use a hair dryer. That's a good tip.
No, that could work too. It just looks cool with the Wagner hair, just blowing it up.
Man, you break my heart when you say hair dryer because I used to have the most amazing flipped hair. Do you guys want me to show you my amazing flipped hair real quick?
Yeah.
And the only reason I bring this up is us bald guys, like we man, those days that I miss. First of all, don't you guys miss getting haircuts and like the smell and just this, and then massaging your head, when they're cutting your hair?
I don't know.
It's incredible. I miss all that. Anyways, crap, I don't have it. Anyway, I do. Okay, cool. You guys are not going to believe this. You guys ready? This is an expired.
Wait,
by
there's something you still need to tell us that we haven't ended with. So.
Oh, don't even.
We're not letting you get away.
Are you ready?
Okay.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Okay. That was when I was 18.
Nice.
Yeah. Hey,
killer.
All the ladies in the house? Yes? Okay, anyways, that was when I had hair, guys. That will be the last time that I ever put that up on the live show. Cool, guys. Well, amazing. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
What? No, Matt's just laughing at me? Man. What? Do you like me before or after Nomads? I know you got, hey, it's crazy. Life is, I can tell you that, like, I graduated in 2004 and life is flying. And I had no idea I'd have kids. I thought I'd be that guy that never had kids. And, life is flying. So my advice to you guys is, I know that we're all about hustling and making money, but sometimes and I struggle with this too. Don't let this fool you, but sometimes we have to live a little bit in the moment and try to enjoy the small things. I know it's tough to say or do, but like we don't want to like always look for tomorrow and not live for today. I know it's corny, but it's just one of those things, guys.
It's real.
Enjoy your family. It's not nearly as deep as this amazing guy over here, which was you can tell you're a teacher, by the way. And you got to have your wife on the show.
No, she's definitely interested. She's I think she's thinking of some names like what did she say? Something gypsy was pretty good. But anyway, so yeah, she's ready. She's into it.
Gosh, and you guys have that luscious beard.
Thank you. Like, you should have seen it.
There's no gray in there.
A few
That's
episodes, it was
about.
like down to here, but I always trim it up right before school.
Yeah.
So. A little gray, huh? But it's the kids. You love them, but they take a lot of work sometimes. You bags under your eyes, right?
Oh yeah, I know what that's about.
Oh yeah. And your son, are we going to get him on the show sometime?
I don't know. He has his own. He loves making YouTube videos. That's what cracks me up. Like he goes, "Hey, Dad, I have more subscribers than you do." I'm like, "Thanks." Now he has only like 100 something, but it just cracks me up because he thinks he's so cool right now. So it's all good. That's how you roll when you're 13.
What's your son's channel, if you don't mind?
I'm gonna wait just because he does video games and I want him to grow it out. I'll put it out there. It's Savage Hero Brian. Like from Minecraft. So if you ever watch Minecraft, it's just Savage Hero Brian.
Well, show him some love, guys. I think that's really cool. I'm a big fan of like having your kids on social media because I not just social media, but being like, I feel like I could be wrong, but back when like in the 70s and 80s, I felt like if social media was bigger presence, like you would have a lot more people like being less depressed and more vocal, because they would have people that they can meet. Like this day and age, you can pick up your phone and be friends with somebody states away, and their kids' names and their wife and husband's names. Like it's incredible place we live in. So.
Yep.
All right, guys. So I'm gonna let you go, but thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for coming on, guys. Subscribe to their channel, and until next time, which is probably tomorrow, we have an amazing show tomorrow at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, guys. I will see you all tomorrow, and thanks, guys, for joining. You guys have an amazing podcast.
Thank you, Wade. We love it. Just thanks for following us. Thanks for the people that showed up. It's been awesome.
All right, guys. Until next time. See you tomorrow, all right?
All right, see you, Wade. Be real, be relevant, be reselling.
Be reselling.